It's a big night.
It is a huge night. And to all our listeners, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Millionaires Club in Virginia City, Nevada. This is Creatures of the Night podcast, and I am Wendy.
I'm Chris.
And we are recording during our private lockdown paranormal investigation of the infamous Washoe Club.
The amazing haunted Washoe Club.
It is impressive, creepy, and intimidating.
It is loud.
No. Okay, so
Hot.
I guess it's not that scary right now, as the bar next to us is still karaokeing, and even the Washoe Club itself is still open, though I think it's gotten quieter in our building.
Yeah, it seems
It's
to have.
just the karaoke is like, we are now at screaming level singing.
Oh, yeah. They have taken it to the next level.
Do you hear that, like, applaud? They are standing in ovation to each other right now. That was the best song ever. They don't even know what song it was.
I didn't know that one.
No, I never caught on to that one. So it is about almost midnight now, and we got in this place at, a little before 10. They start letting us put our stuff in here. But us being us, it has taken us this long to get our stuff in here and situated. We did walk the whole building.
Yes.
We had to see it.
And don't for 1 second think that was just us being divas. You have to see this place. First of all, we have
It's
a lot
huge.
of stuff,
Yeah.
but we have to maneuver around
Oh, God.
the ricketiest, most dangerous set of stairs ever with our stuff up and down. They're leaning.
Yes.
The boards are like they're about to give as you're walking up and down.
What did the guy that brought us back here, he said that it was like Tim Burton style. That's what he said.
It was Tim Burton style. Yeah, Nightmare Before Christmas
We'll have to take a video of that later.
in the morning. Yeah.
Yeah, or just something, get some pictures of it, because
Yeah.
that's insane what we have to go through to get our stuff in here.
Yeah.
And it was like multiple sets of stairs too.
Yeah, multiple sets of traps.
You're going to become a ghost on those steps before
Oh my gosh.
you get done with this.
And then when you get out of the steps, finally, then you have this gate that is way too heavy. It has
and awkward and misshapen. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can either, throw yourself into something that looks like another booby trap or maneuver your way around this fence again. It's all very elaborate.
Right. It took a lot of time to get our stuff in here because of that.
Yeah.
But then we did walk the premises.
Yes, we did.
Before we set up for our podcast. We knew it's a Friday night.
Yeah.
It's going to take the bar a while to close down, but we're going to be here until morning. So we've got time.
We were
We're being patient and just kind of, feeling the vibe of the space, which is right now is just jamming out.
It is rocking out right now. There's not much of a vibe other than that. It's a party.
Yeah, and it being warm.
It's
up here,
warm,
which
yeah.
we're surprised by because it's nice and cool outside.
It is, yeah.
So this historic saloon has a seriously haunted past and maybe present. That's what we're here to find out about.
Yes.
Everybody says it does.
Yes. Everybody says it does.
Everybody. It's one of those most haunted places.
Yeah, yeah. It doesn't need to be in a magazine. Like any paranormal group that you've ever followed that has been here, they will just let you know. Just go and watch their shows. This place is haunted.
So we're currently set up in, I don't know what room this is. We're not far from the ballroom. If you're familiar with the Washoe Club, if you've been here, if you've seen it on TV, it's been on TV plenty of times. We were going to do this in the ballroom until we saw this beautiful table.
Yeah, this is
and
cute.
we were like, oh, actually, this is perfect.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll just sit here.
So this might have been a kitchen.
I mean, there's so many little cutouts of rooms everywhere.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that it was apartments at one point in time. I would say more like an extended stay hotel.
Okay.
But like this is all open.
Yeah.
So this had to be some kind of common space, I would think.
Well, yeah, these are sliding doors too. So, I mean, you could close it off if you needed to.
That or it was in a larger apartment.
Well, this is why I was
know.
thinking, so that's the ballroom over there. So they would dance and stuff. So this would probably be like where the buffet and stuff was, right?
Yeah. I mean, maybe it really was just like a dining room,
Yeah.
type thing.
You get your cocktails and you go back and get your party on some more.
Yeah.
Come back, get some cheese and crackers, and then
You have to have some substance before you boogie down some more.
I know.
Boogie down. What's wrong with me? So obviously, this week's story is on the Washoe Club.
Oh, awesome.
It would be kind of rude if we came here and we talked about other ghost in front of the ghost, you know?
They might all actually crowd around just to hear the other story.
What? I've never heard of that.
I need to go down to that club or wherever.
That place? Well, I was afraid they'd be jealous. So we're definitely doing the story this week on the Washoe Club. And I'm actually really excited. Nobody knows this, but all the stories that we're doing this next couple of months or whatever for the next 6 weeks, because we're on this extended trip together.
Yeah.
So we're aware pretty much of what stories we're doing because we had to work it out. These locations we're going to, we needed to know who's going to talk about what. So we put their names like in a hat and then we drew them out, and that's how we picked our stories. Do you remember that? We do these late after we've been drinking and podcasting and we're exhausted. So Chris may not remember it just because of that.
I remember us doing that back in May for the original trip. But for this trip, I remember us walking through all of the places that we had on the list and we were discussing who should do what.
I totally thought we still drew names because, to be honest with you, I'm excited that I did draw this one or get this one, but I hate that I'm doing this one.
Do you?
I mean, I don't hate it. I do appreciate it. I got to do a ghost tour of this place, like a public ghost tour with my kids when we came up here for just like a little vacay like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And my kids even loved this place. The tour guide was amazing. She told fun stories. And so the kids were really into it. I was really into it and fell in love with this place.
Yeah.
So I do like that I'm doing the story, but the fact that, you know, you got the pressure of doing the story in the space. It's not just to tell it to you, and that's, you know, how we might maneuver through the night investigating. What if I got something wrong? You know,
well,
like,
then hopefully they'll let us know.
Bob in room 13. You know what I mean? But also the ghosts are here to like correct me.
Well, that's good. I mean, it's not like they're going to whack you upside your head or anything
what if
like
they
that.
do though?
Well, then you got it on film. We're legendary. Wow.
Well, I was thinking like, shit, why did Chris not end up with this one? She's usually much better at research. But I thought that we drew names, so I'm surprised that we just picked this. I must have been like, hey, I love that place. And that's how it came about. Maybe I was too drunk to remember this conversation now.
I feel like, and I don't know, again, because we did do this, like Wendy said, after a long night of podcasting, and it was like well into maybe 2 or 3 a.m. for me after having several beverages that were of the wine influence. But it seems like we wrote down all of these places, and I want to say that we kind of started backwards from the Donner Pass area. Like you said, well, you already did a story.
I would do something. Oh, you know what? No, now I do remember that. We did have a little discussion about it. Yeah. Well, shit. This whole time I've been thinking, I can't believe I drew that one. That's so unfair. And I totally picked it. What's wrong with me? Well, I am excited about being here, and I guess it is nice that I get to talk about it because I was here once before.
Well, I was excited that you get to tell the story because you're kind of like the guide for me. When we went to SK Pier, so I was kind of the guide for you. I'd been there before and I knew the story on it, so it's sort of to me that sense.
And that is probably the same conversation we had when we were picking. And I just don't remember.
It's all coming back to me now.
Like, oh, that sounds familiar. But of course, when I came here a few years ago with my family, that wasn't the first time I had ever heard about the Washoe Club or some of the ghost stories here. Again, this is a ghost adventures spot. I first saw this location on their documentary, and they've gone back to investigate since then. I've watched all that and other people's stuff, and it's a really exciting place.
Yeah, it is. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here.
Right. So for those who have not been to Virginia City, when you roll up this mountain, this steep ass mountain, it's not that steep, but it was kind of crazy. It was like, hey, this isn't so bad. You're seeing wild horses.
Wild horses
were
cool.
And then all of a sudden you were like making a climb like you were in San Francisco for a second. And it was just like straight up. I mean, I have a big truck, but I would still get very nervous about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So we climb up that mountain, and then you pop into this town, and it's all the cute little adorable Western small town buildings and stuff. And then you roll up to the Washoe Club, and there it is. It's kind of larger than some of the other buildings around here.
It really is. On the front, you really can't tell as much because there's just so much going on around it. But when you walk around it, you're in the back, and then you come inside it.
Yeah,
I mean, the place
massive.
It is massive.
So the Washoe Club sits on the bustling C Street. We know that.
Yes.
We've been watching that traffic all day.
I found that out today.
Pretty crazy.
It is.
And it's believed to be one of the most haunted locations in the West.
Nice.
I told you it was on one of those lists.
Yeah.
The Washoe Club originally opened for business in 1875. just 4 months before the Great Fire that destroyed most of the town.
Oh, shit.
Poor timing.
Yeah, right.
This was on October 26, 1875. It was caused by a kerosene lantern.
Oh.
And it swept through the town, leaving 2,000 people homeless.
Ooh.
And the town in ruins. But the owners of the Washoe Club were determined to quickly find a new location and began replicating the exact same building and the club.
That's nice.
The saloon was rebuilt and opened a second time in late 1876. And aside from being a bar, the Washoe Club was designated to be the meeting grounds for the Virginia City elite.
Oh.
By the mid-1870s, Virginia City was booming in a way that's hard to grasp in modern times. The Comstock was pumping out millions of dollars in profitable high-grade silver.
Okay.
This would be the first major location for silver mining in the United States, and it didn't go unnoticed. The most skilled miners, famous evening entertainers, gunslingers, writers, performers, and businessmen all flocked to the Comstock, hoping to get in on the action. But you know how the richest of the rich love to get together and talk about how rich they are and show off. So, of course, they needed that club.
Okay.
And they made the Washoe Club their home.
Okay. This was their gossip spot.
Yes.
Yeah.
They were like, we need a place where we can show off that we're elite. So they called their little secret society the Millionaires Club.
Oh, okay.
The club's exclusive quarters was on the second floor above the Crystal Bar and housed luxury only imagined by the rest of the American West. They had the finest library east of San Francisco, a lavish billiards room, and a parlor adorned with Italian marble and bronze statuettes. A wine room.
Oh, wow.
My favorite.
Nice.
What is this room right here? You see how it's enclosed and
Yeah,
stuff?
it is.
There's a door right there. Maybe that's not it. Something touch you?
It felt like a bug had kind of landed on me. That's why I did that.
Except for we've not seen any bugs.
Yeah, not while
Or
we've
did
been
you?
in here. I haven't seen any bugs while we've been in here, but we have been around bugs actually a lot today. So it
The
just it
flies,
felt like
yeah.
that's how it felt when it just landed on me.
Okay.
But you didn't see anything fly off me, did you?
No, I just saw you react to it.
Okay.
So, what else? They had that wine room, and it was made from carved black walnut. I guess like the places that they stored their wine is what they named the little shelves or something.
Beautiful. Okay.
And they even had a reading room in the shape of a grand piano. I don't even know what that means. A room was in the shape of a grand piano?
I wonder if it's the room that had that.
The little curved walls.
wall. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's upstairs on the third floor, though.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, but I mean, the second and third floor became the Washoe Club. The Millionaires Club.
Okay.
So I think they just kind of started off with the second floor and they were like, we need more.
More, yeah. And
More.
Jeez, this place is huge. But that's the only room that's unique like that.
Yeah, that has got unique curves in the walls. Everything else is squared.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So the only criteria to be a part of this club, which we are now a part of as well, because we paid our $20, but back then you had to be a millionaire.
Oh,
So.
that's sweet. So now all you got to do is just like
It's
give them.
discounted these days.
Yeah, nice.
So the Millionaires membership roster included a number of prominent individuals from various types of businesses, like rags to riches Irish immigrant from 5 Points, New York City, turned millionaire miner. Like he grew up in 5 Points, poor as shit.
Oh my gosh.
And then he's like, what's that out there in the West? Gold? I'll have to go check that out.
No doubt.
Brought his ass out here and became a millionaire. His name's John Mackey.
Oh, just like the house? Isn't that what that house is down the street?
We talked about that earlier. I couldn't remember the story about that house.
Oh, okay.
So I wonder if it is associated with him.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to walk down there tomorrow.
Okay.
But
Maybe they got a plaque on the side of the house. Or
I
something.
remembered stuff about the schoolhouse, but I couldn't remember about that house.
Yeah.
I thought it had been on TV. I wonder if it is like John Mackey or some kind of Mackey, I'm sure. But yes, I thought his story was fun coming from so little and then, like being a millionaire. And then there was world-renowned actor Edwin Booth, who happens to be brothers with a less successful actor, but famous nonetheless, and that's John Wilkes Booth.
Oh.
So he's part of this club, but he's like, but let's not talk about my brother.
Yeah, right.
And one of California's wealthiest citizens, and that is Darius Ogden Mills, who, fun fact, I just thought this was fun. His family was back east in New York. So when he passed away here in California, they buried him in Sleepy Hollow Cemetery.
Oh, no kidding. In New York, the Sleepy Hollow.
The Sleepy Hollow.
That's cool.
Yeah. Then, of course, there were the multitude of wealthy businessmen from the Comstock, the ones that own the mines and stuff, and political figures such as President Ulysses S. Grant, who just couldn't say no to being a part of such an exclusive club.
Yeah, why would you?
Yeah, they had a room shaped like a piano.
Yeah, and it's a status thing, clearly. Yeah.
But by 1897, the mines had played out and the people began to leave, including the wealthy people. The once bustling opulent club was forced to close its doors on September 9th, 1897. The famed Territorial Enterprise reported, "The closing of the Washoe Club marks the end of an era in history of Nevada, as did its opening." The saloon on the bottom level of the Washoe Club continued to operate long after the club had come to a demise, though the second and third floors sat empty for decades. The lavish amenities were stripped over time, and in the 1930s, that's when they converted these into apartments.
Okay. In the 30s?
Yeah, 1930s.
Wow.
And it was in the, what did I say? 1897. That's when they closed up shop.
So it sat vacant for a long time.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was 40 years or something like that, we'll say.
Yeah.
But this was not high class living, these apartments, not by a long shot.
Oh, no.
They were kind of the slums. So this didn't attract the classiest crowd, a lot of people that down on their luck type thing. According to a local historian, numerous deaths, including suicide and murder, occurred, stirring up reports of unusual activity. Then, over the decades, reports of this odd activity grew more and more, drawing paranormal investigators like us and others to this location. Some of the spirits said to reside here are a woman named Lena, who was believed to be murdered in a bedroom on the 3rd floor.
Oh, shit.
While her unnamed murderer haunts the 2nd floor, where he committed suicide.
Oh, wow.
Lena is said to be a transparent figure in a flowing dress, often seen walking around the ballroom and on those stairs.
Okay.
And that's
Lena.
the pictures that you see in the museum. They have them blown up and everything.
I thought didn't say the blue lady or something like that?
Yes, so she's called that too.
Okay.
Well, I think some people try to act like she's two different spirits, but you said she's in a flowy dress and she's walking around here and she's on those stairs. I'm sure it's the same thing.
Yeah, okay.
And the stairs that we're talking about is this very impressive spiral staircase.
Yeah.
It's all wooden though. It's not metal. And apparently now it's so rickety you can't walk down it. When I was here 3 years ago, they let us walk down it, but I guess they put a stop to that. It's boarded up and then it's roped off. But you can hang out there, and wait for Lena.
You can watch, yeah.
But those stairs were once or maybe they still are, Ripley's Believe It or Not, for being the longest stairs of its kind.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm assuming they mean wooden spiral staircase.
Yeah,
I bet you there's a metal one that's much bigger.
Yeah.
Do you remember that one at the Limp Mansion? Wasn't that spiral when you walk out of the building? Or did I imagine
it's outside the building.
Yeah.
It is spiral.
Yeah. It was pretty tall.
It was. Yeah, that was a pretty spiral staircase.
So in addition to the spirits of Lena and her killer, there are also reports of an apparition of a teenage girl who was actually murdered in the basement.
Oh, God.
Which nobody showed us where the basement was, so I don't think we have access to that.
There is, in the area that we have access to, with lights and stuff like that, the museum, I guess is what it is. There's a doorway, just beyond that Joker
Eddie said
thing.
it was employees only.
Yeah.
And I didn't know if that was an office or what, because we don't have access to the bar and the Millionaires Club room yet.
Right.
So we haven't necessarily seen the whole thing.
Sure.
Kind of.
Yeah.
But not without a bunch of drunk people around, at least,
Yeah.
But she was said to be murdered in the basement, but she haunts the whole building, not just the basement.
Okay.
And another spirit is of a child who is, they say, painfully shy. So that's why they say you should bring a bunch of toys and everything to offer to them to kind of get them to come out.
Yeah.
He is they believe it's a boy. He is occasionally spotted on the 2nd floor wearing tattered white clothes, and they're old-fashioned style, of course. There's a little girl that they've seen as well.
Oh.
They believe that she was killed in a horse and buggy accident right out front.
Okay.
So she didn't die in the building, but she hangs out here and probably was attracted to the little boy.
Yeah. She'll have a friend here.
And there's also another young boy, and his name is Peter. So they have a name on this one. He is thought to be the victim of like child abuse.
Oh.
And they often seem to feel his presence or somehow, see him or sense him. They didn't say they caught pictures of him, but in a closet on the 3rd floor.
Oh.
So you don't know if he's like hiding because he's scared.
Sure.
Or did his parents put him in the closet?
Oh,
type
God.
thing?
I hope not.
I know. I'm not really sure about that. And there's a lot of little nooks and crannies upstairs too. So I'm not really sure which closet they were talking about. His voice has been captured by paranormal investigators answering to his name. And that's, I guess, how they figured it out.
Sure. Okay.
Other reports of apparitions include the story of a young adult male who frequents the 3rd floor who is believed to be the spirit of a man who committed suicide.
Okay. Damn, there's a lot of spirits here. It's
Yes.
hard to keep up with it.
I know. And a lot of them don't have names either.
Yeah.
So far, we really just have Peter and we have 2 children that don't have names. I know from the tour guide's experience where one of those children might be.
Okay.
And then other than that, they just say it's a free-for-all of the entire room.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
I guess you can look for a small closet, but
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know which one necessarily.
Right.
So yeah, it's a lot of work because it's a lot of space.
Yeah, it is a huge space. Yeah.
Well, we know we can find Lena in the ballroom
Okay.
or on the stairs.
Right.
We'll make a list.
I know.
We should have brought like a chalkboard
Yes,
to put
yes.
things on or something like that. Keep up with it.
There is a chalkboard down in the little playroom.
Really?
Yeah, it says someone wrote "Get Out" on it.
I did not even see
Oh, you
that.
didn't? I think they meant it jokingly, like this room is super haunted. Get out.
Get out of
Get
here.
outta here. Yeah, exactly.
You're so silly. No, I bet that's not what they meant.
No, it's not.
So there's also an old mischievous prospector in the bar area who enjoys making his presence known by moving drinks and tapping people on the shoulders.
Wow.
Then there's the crypt,
Oh, okay.
which Chris didn't even remember.
Yeah.
So we were looking to where we might put like our cots if
Yeah.
we decide to lay down for a nap or something like
Yeah.
that. And you were like, what's this back here?
Yeah, right.
And there's a perfect little spot for it, but I don't think we're allowed to.
That's too bad. It is perfect.
So this remains shrouded kind of in speculation and mystery. Like I told you, like it was very matter of fact
Okay.
what had happened in that room, but it's not necessarily. People just believe that it was used as this kind of like backup morgue because it is cold in there. There's big stone walls. There's
Yeah.
no open windows or anything. The bar was using it for storage.
Oh,
But they think back in the day that when the undertaker's place was too full and it was too cold outside to bury anybody,
Yeah.
that they would store the bodies in there.
yikes.
But I don't think they have any factual evidence of
Okay,
that.
yeah.
Just a lot of people believe that. And I've heard
Sure.
of that before.
Yeah.
I mean, they did that in Memphis. Well, that's when they had like an outbreak or something like
Oh,
that
yeah,
and
the
they
yellow
ran out
fever.
of places.
Yeah.
There were several buildings that they store bodies
Sure.
in.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. It's not like it's a far-fetched idea.
Right.
So people say that they have seen objects move in there and they get an eerie feeling of being watched.
Oh, wow.
And on the Ghost Adventures episode, I know that Aaron, like a rock dropped on him or something or was thrown at him.
Yeah, that's weird.
Now it's stone in there. So it could have broke loose from the wall, but like why?
Right, at that moment. And it's weird. So like you would typically think with something like that there is, oh, well, it's got to be somebody or, an animal that's up there. But if you look straight up, it's pretty much sealed off.
Yeah.
There's no one that could be up there just messing with you.
Yeah, I mean, I guess one of these floors might be above it and it connects, but
Yeah.
I mean, Ghost Adventures usually put things kind of on lockdown when they're in the building.
Yeah.
So I think they would know if somebody was on the second floor.
Yeah, especially if they're in the middle of an investigation.
Then if that wasn't enough internal issues stirring up ghostly activity at the Washoe Club, well, then there was a huge explosion one summer in 1873 that happened to be right next door.
Oh my God.
This explosion was caused by 150 pounds of gunpowder igniting somehow. They're not even really sure. It was in the Roots building, which I think was where the karaoke was today, but I'm not 100% sure. It was stored beneath the room of General Van. Look at this name. They just reused the same letters over and over again.
Oh, wow. That's
really.
it's Bach-a-Clocklin.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That one. People really liked him. He had a pet monkey.
Oh,
So he's
wow.
a fun guy. But unfortunately, he died, and so did his monkey in this accident. What did you hear?
I did just hear something. It sounded as if it was a step, like honestly, not in this room, not in that room, but like outside
in
there
the
in the hallway.
Hallway.
Yeah. I expected there to be kind of someone like just checking on you.
Better not.
Yeah, right.
Oh, if he's going to close down the bar, he might start looking for us.
Oh, okay.
I didn't even think about that. I guess if we hear really heavy footsteps, we'll
know
just
him
call
coming up
out.
the stairs, right?
Yeah.
He'll probably yell out to us too.
I hope so. They didn't do that on that BuzzFeed Unsolved episode, though. Remember, that's right. My biggest fear.
Yeah.
The Winchester house where the caretakers just like creeping around at night. I do not want that happening here. I do not like the living creeping around.
That was weird.
Okay, so we'll keep an ear out, I guess, for him looking for us. So this general, fun guy, has a monkey. Poor thing, died in the explosion because it was basically like in his room or something where they stored this stuff. It was super close. And the 2 upper floors of the bank just was destroyed. Damn. Many were wounded and 10 lost their lives. Like people were like blown down the street type thing. This was such a big explosion. So I have some names here, and some of them, they believe, haunt this location. Yeah. So the general, they think that he haunts here, and some people even claim that they've gotten pictures of him. I didn't think there were really great pictures on like how they knew it was him and not just anybody else. Okay. But they think they see a monkey in the photo.
No way.
Yeah. I'll have to find it and show it to you.
That's why they think it's him.
I could see what they were talking about, but it was kind of like how we were looking at that picture of the ghostly figure of the little girl holding the teddy bear. And then we saw like 8 different faces in the photo too. Yes. That's what this whole general monkey photo looked like online. Okay. So it was questionable to me. I was like, my eyes are going cross. Oh. So in the accident, they also lost J.P. Smith. He was a hardware merchant. William Davis, a clerk at J.P.'s store. Benjamin Maudel, he was a dry goods merchant. Mrs. Emily O'Connor, formerly of the International Hotel. Ed Dean and his daughter, his daughter was only 8 years old. Oh. They were of Goldfield. Okay. And then there was Charles U. Knox of San Francisco. He also perished in the accident, but before he did, he was found alive. And some of the firemen spoke to him, and they were trying to free him. But he asked them if he could just simply have some water. He said, "Boys, there's no use. You can't save me." Oh. Knox's body was then retrieved later.
Wow, that's grim.
With the exception of his head.
Oh, what?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I read that wrong. Oh. With the exception of his head, his entire body was covered in like fallen timber. So his body was like crushed. Okay. So they were talking to him. That's and they could see his face, but
they're just like, well, we can't do anything about that head.
No, I'm so sorry. I just read that wrong. Okay. I was like, pause when I should. So the whole town was horrified by this accident. Businesses suspended and schools were shut down. The town's annual, because this was right before 4th of July, they said, no, we're not having a 4th of July celebration. Shoot. And I guess whatever money they had collected for this celebration, they ended up giving it to the families for burials. And then they gave the rest to like the firefighters and the other kind of first responders that were involved.
That's nice.
The tour guide that I had, a couple of years ago when I was here, she said that one of the boys in that room upstairs on the 3rd floor was from the explosion.
Oh, wow.
So last but not least, within the Haunted Museum of the Washoe Club, there is a memorial paying tribute to Debbie and Mark Constantino, who passed away in September 2015 of an apparent murder-suicide that shook the world of paranormal research to the core. Yeah. They were well known for their many years of dedication in specializing in EVPs, and they appeared on numerous episodes of Ghost Adventures as well as other shows, and they wrote books. They had also investigated the Washoe Club numerous times, so much so that the spirits, they like really got to know them. It seems like everywhere Debbie goes, they seem to know her very well and speak just directly to her.
Right. They have absolutely no problem with just opening right up to her.
Right. And so clearly,
they're so comfortable. Yeah.
Yeah. It was amazing. The EVPs that they got, it was incredible.
They are.
Well, there are some people that believe that at least she, maybe Mark, haunt the Washoe Club.
Whoa, I just got chills. Are you serious?
Yeah. So when Ghost Adventures was here, they got a spirit box response that sounded like Debbie's voice. Oh. Billy broke down into tears because he just immediately recognized it. Yeah. I imagine it was a lot on his mind too.
That's emotional. I mean, they knew them. They knew what happened.
They worked with them a lot.
And it was such a tragedy too. And then to have her voice come through, I mean, that's
right.
Wow. That's powerful.
So on that investigation, investigation. Ghost Adventures has been here 3 times, but this was their last investigation that they planned to do here, that this whole thing happened because it was after their passing. And the really amazing things that happened that kind of show signs that there might be some piece of her or both of them left here is what I just told you. But also not they, but Billy says that he used to have these conversations with them about, how does it happen, or what does this mean when ghosts take something and then they make it show up somewhere else.
Okay.
Years later down the road, whatever. We were kind of talking about this in another episode about the pearls.
Yeah.
But we were saying they were thieves and shit. But
right.
They thought that it was some kind of sign that they just delivered it at the right moment, and how did they do that? So while they're on this investigation, it was when they were in the hallway by stairs that something falls on the floor. And then he picks it up and it's a quarter. And the year on the coin is 2015. Now it's 2017.
Yeah.
So this wasn't this year's coin.
Right.
And then they're all sitting there talking about how they didn't have anything in their pockets, that they don't carry change around on investigation. It would make too much noise.
Yeah, it would.
So also they put up that paranormal puck.
Yeah.
And they weren't even in the room. And then after that coin thing happened, they hear the paranormal puck say, communicate.
Okay.
So they run over there and they're like, I'm sorry. Communicate with who? And it goes, you. And then he says, who was the message from? And it says, us. And it says, what did you do to this coin? And then the puck says, drop. And I don't think they were typing in these questions either. They were just asking.
They were just asking, and they were just getting an answer.
And they were getting answers. Usually you have to type them in for that.
Yeah.
And then after that, they didn't ask anything else. They're freaking out about the drop thing. And it just said coin. And then it says portal. And it might have said those. Yeah. They left. They freak out about the drop. And they're like, whoa, mic drop. And they're freaking out. They got to go compose themselves. Yeah. And the puck goes on to say coin and portal after they left the room.
Wow.
So that I thought was really impressive.
That is impressive.
Those pucks are obvious. They're questionable, but this was something that had just happened. And it really seemed like they knew who they were communicating with in that moment.
Wow.
So some of the other stuff that they've gotten, obviously, if you've never seen the Ghost Adventures documentary, they got a full body apparition in the ballroom.
Hear that noise?
Yeah.
Would that be someone maybe coming up? It sounds like that door that gets stuck.
You locked that door.
I did.
He can't get in here.
He can't get in here.
Unless he comes up the other stairs. Can you see there?
Yeah, this is the stairs right here, actually. We would see him if he was coming up.
They got I'm sorry. There's noise and we're getting distracted.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm just jumping right back in. We're waiting more for the bartender guy to shock the fuck out of us.
I know, right?
Than I think we are really a ghost to do something. We don't know which is worse at this moment.
I think if he were to come, now that I know where we are, we would totally see him. Unless he were to come up the other set of stairs.
Because we locked that door.
Yeah.
So, unless he has a key.
Well, we would see him going up the stairs right there.
I can't see. I can see up there to the street, but I can't see because of the light in my eye.
Oh, well, I can tell you what. As he's walking up, he would be able to see and hear no problem because of the light.
He's going to tap on that window and I'm going to die.
I'll be like, don't worry about her. I can see you just fine.
I'm just going to keep looking this way and try not to jump. So on the Ghost Adventures documentary, they did investigate this place. They got a full body apparition in the ballroom that they got checked out by Slim Rick. And he said that was amazing footage. Huh? It's transparent, but it seems to follow Nick after he leaves the room. And
it's creepy.
That was the biggest piece of evidence they ever got from here. Obviously, they've gotten EVPs. They've heard, footsteps and popping and the typical ghostly activity.
Sure.
But when it comes down to what was the mega thing, that was pretty much it.
That's mega.
Yeah. The stuff that they got in their very last one, that was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
That had to have been really painful for them too.
Oh, yeah.
But the first couple of times that they came here, because like I said, they've been here 3 times, that full body apparition was the biggest thing.
That's a huge thing.
Yeah. They had good investigations.
Yeah.
You can watch them. They're entertaining.
Sure.
But it's the same old, ghost saying hey on the spirit box or something like that. Nobody got pushed downstairs or anything like that.
Thank God. I don't want to see that. I don't want anything attacking anybody.
There is a room here that is room 12. And we were supposed to ask the bartender, because there's no number on any of these rooms, that a tour guide says that multiple people have been scratched in. And then he himself has also been scratched in it as well.
Yeah. We just need to figure out which one 12 is.
I know. We need to ask that question. That is important to know.
Yeah.
What is in there that does not want people in there. there.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to wrap this up. I really don't even know what time it is.
It's almost 1 a.m. It's 12:42.
I'm so freaked out about the bartender popping in on us that I'm just like, ooh.
I think he should have. He said at 12 by the latest, didn't he?
Yeah, and things have gotten quiet now.
Yeah.
And I think he might have gave up on saying goodbye to us
Yeah.
if the door's locked or something
Right.
like that. I don't know. But we should maybe go check in on him just to find out where he's at and see if the bar's closed down. And if we've got the full place now.
Right.
Because it's pretty quiet outside.
Yeah.
The karaoke stopped.
It sounds like the town is finally dead.
I think this is like go time for us.
Yeah, I think so.
So just so everybody knows, the Washoe Club and the Haunted Museum are open year round, 7 days a week, and guided tours run every day. Typically, they start every hour, and they include all 3 floors. And as you've heard from us, it can be booked for serious overnight investigations. You just have to call the bar.
That's funny. Call the bar to make the booking.
Yeah, don't go online. It's not going to work for you. I tried it. They don't answer their Facebook messages or anything too. So just call the bar and talk to them.
Okay.
And if you've been here before and you've got a personal story that you want to share with us, then please write to us at creaturesofthenight@gmail.com, or you can hit us up on any of our forms of social media, which are listed in the show notes below. You can also follow us on YouTube. All our videos will be posted on there. We're recording this podcast with video right now. We're going to make videos throughout the night. If you want to see this, then you've got to subscribe so you get a notification every time one of those videos drop. We'll also be posting pictures and short videos on our social media feed, so you could follow those pages as well so that you get to see all that good stuff. And if you like the show, please do us a favor, leave us a review and subscribe on whatever podcast app that you use. And if you really like the show, you can go buy our shit.
Yeah, no, right.
And help support us renting out places like this.
Totally.
And that's at the Spirit Emporium. Our shop is called the Spirit Emporium. It is on Etsy. And that is all I got for you.
Well, now it's our turn to go and investigate this place.
And, yeah.
Now that we know all of the details, which is kind of fun. It's a lot similar to what Wendy and I used to do anyways when we would road trip to these places prior to our podcasting days. We would sit on a road trip. Wendy or I would tell the story of the location that we're going to. Usually it's Wendy because she would find the places and she would do the research. So she'd be telling me the story on the way up. So we'd know the names, we'd know the rooms or things like that.
Yeah.
So it's very similar, but this time you all kind of get to see that pre-lockdown of ours. This is kind of how we roll, just.
That's so funny when you were talking about that earlier about we haven't done like a road trip like that in so long. I totally forgot that is how we used to do it. Very like Ghost Hunter style.
Yeah.
You were getting the facts just right before we were there.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. That was fun times. And now we just do it, but we do it where everybody can hear it.
Yeah, right. Everyone gets the story.
And inside the building.
And inside.
There's still some crazy people on the streets.
Yeah. It sounded like they just started throwing trash cans down the road, like they're rolling them down or something.
Yeah, that's got to be a truck, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought for 2 seconds I was like, oh, the air cut on.
Yeah,
There's no air in here.
Finally. That's great.
All right, guys, we're going to go and find this bartender.
Yeah, now that the tractor trailers have started up outside.
Just scooping up the people on the streets. I don't know. All right, guys.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
And then it cuts in. So we survived our night at the Washoe Club.
Yay, we made it.
We are kicked out into the streets now. They have got to turn that bar around because people are ready to get it popping again.
Oh my gosh, they were beating down the door at first. 7 o'clock this morning? We're like, what are they? Do they really want to come in here? Yes, they do.
Yes, they do. They're like, could you leave? But we did survive our night of our investigation, and we're just going to do a little what?
How was it?
This is what happened.
Yeah.
Where are they now? Oh, they are alive. And so we wanted to tack this on to the end of telling you the story and the history last night.
Yeah.
Before our investigation. So,
yes.
What happened to us, Chris?
Well, we got fucking tired.
That did happen. Before that happened, though, we did hear odd noises here and there.
Okay, actually, yes. So while we were filming the podcast, I saw a shadow.
Which hopefully is on the video.
I really hope so. I think we were actually done with the podcast, right? Did we?
No, we were still recording on this camera.
Okay,
so
yeah.
It should be there, hopefully.
Fingers crossed. That would be fun. The town just woke up, as you can tell. Everyone is going to drive by
Rush
right now.
Rush hour traffic.
Right now.
Saturday. Where are they going?
And now the motorcycles.
Did you know there was a parade today?
No, I do now.
Those guys did. Anyways, we just wanted to tell you real quick.
Yeah.
We saw maybe like some kind of figure walk by. Hopefully it's on our camera. That was during the podcast.
That was good.
Afterwards, during our investigation, we heard little pops and noises. Sounds like whimpers or moans.
It did sound like someone was kind of crying. Or sad. A weird whimper.
Yeah. And it happened multiple times. Different
I've got
spaces.
Yeah. And I did get it on an EVP.
You did get it on a recorder. But we tried our heart out to get like real hardcore EVPs.
Yeah.
We did playback. We heard nothing but those little whimpers. So nothing really like just saying, hey, nice to meet you.
We're here.
So glad to see you.
Yeah. There was
none of
nothing
that.
like that.
So we did our investigation. We were really tired.
Yeah.
And we could not bear to keep our eyes open anymore.
Yeah, we do feel like because we went in with such a low energy that we were given back low energy. So that was unfortunate. We were exhausted. We drove 9,000 miles yesterday
to be here and then kind of fucked it up.
I had a restless night the night before too, so I was already tired coming into this.
Right. So around like 3 o'clock in the morning, we settled down into cots. Now, I did not anywhere near go to sleep until around maybe 4, and even then it was very touch and go. I had a hard time. Every time I heard a little noise, I kept waiting to see what was about to come out. Then I would fall asleep and then like wake myself back up because I expected to hear or see something.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did hear something.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I was exhausted and becoming delusional or what, but we've stayed at a lot of haunted locations. We've been sleeping at a lot of haunted locations these days, and this doesn't always happen to me or ever happen to me.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I heard a man's voice, and this is right when I was like wanting to get serious about going to sleep.
Yeah.
I put the sleeping bag over my face. So I was like, you cannot look around this room anymore. Mm-hmm. Ignore everything you hear. Go to sleep. And then it was like a dude talking. Now I couldn't make out what he was saying, but it was like sentences. It wasn't just one word. I would say it sounded like it came from the stairs, like the spiral stairs or the bar.
Yeah.
And so I just throw off my sleeping bag and I'm like, hello? Of course she would try to talk to me now.
Right now. Yeah. So one thing that we forgot to mention is when we left the podcast last night, we were like, oh, we got to go talk to the bartender. We got to let him know that we're still here, yada, yada. He had already shut down for the night. He was gone.
Yeah. He put us on lockdown in chains without telling us or anything.
Right.
So the noises that we were hearing, we were not for sure if it was him.
But the reason why I bring that up now is because when Wendy says that she heard a man's voice, let me just say that we were able to discount a lot of voices that we heard because this place was bumping last night. We're like, the windows are open, the bars are open, there's voices coming in from the street. When Wendy heard a voice last night, it was dead silent. And I know that because I woke up right after Wendy.
Yeah, it was creepy silent.
Yeah.
Like the air came on and off. And so I remember at times the air wasn't even on and it was so
dead
quiet.
Yeah.
So this was 4:30 in the morning or so. Mm-hmm. There was no more street noise.
No, none at all.
So I hear the man's voice and I pop up and I'm trying to listen and I'm so exhausted, 5-10 minutes pass and I don't hear it again. So I tried to go back to sleep and I don't know how much longer it was, but I heard a fucking man's voice again.
Yeah. He's saying, Wendy, wake up. Remember, we wanted to talk.
This time it was shorter, like just one word.
Yeah.
And your recorder ran all night, which you didn't mean to do.
No, that's what I was going to say. So when Wendy tried hard to go to sleep, I apparently hit the pillow like this. I was out. I went right to sleep. No questions asked. And I was so tired last night that I left my recorder on for the 3.5-4 hours that we attempted to sleep.
Yeah.
And I have a trap camera that was facing out that we're very hopeful for that it might have picked up some things. So when Wendy must have finally made it to Sleepy World land, I woke up. So I go to the bathroom, I go back to lay down in bed, and I bundle up because I was chilly, not freezing cold. Like I've mentioned before, like I'm always like shaking cold, but I bundled up and I lay down and I start to hear noises, little pops and cracks throughout the museum where we were like supposed to be sleeping. And I'm just writing these off as it's an old building. It's settling. It's dropping in temperature outside or something. So I'm not thinking it's going to be ghostly. I'm waiting for a voice or a face or something.
That's the thing. It alerts you enough to be like, I have to wait for it. Mm-hmm. Maybe it could be something.
Yeah.
But it could just be the building.
Right.
So that's what kept happening to me.
That's the funny thing. So when Wendy heard stuff I didn't, she fell asleep and then I get a little piece of it. I heard what sounded like a footstep and it sounded like it was in the stairwell area too. And I'm like, okay, so where's the rest of it?
you know? Was it the 5 toes like coming down on that one step? And it was clear enough that I was like, that's a footstep. So I was just kind of waiting for more. And then the longer I waited, like I couldn't go back to sleep. And I'm like, I'm going to go sit and take some pictures.
But look, guys, when Chris woke up and she was like, you know, she's going to be awake for a minute, I was like, quick, go to sleep. She'll protect me. She's awake. So if anything happens, she'll take care of it. This is your chance, Wendy. And I think I did doze off. And then that's when I've got like my little bit of sleep before I started waking up again.
Yeah.
But like I said, it doesn't happen to me at a lot of locations. This one's kind of different. It's not like it's a haunted hotel.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I had a hard time getting any kind of rest in here. And I always really felt uneasy in this building.
Well, I don't know. I was really tired last night. I didn't feel anything other than my eyelids getting heavier and heavier, which was a problem. I really wanted to investigate it. We really wanted to go in hard. We brought all of our equipment. And by the time we were like making it to the second room, I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to fall down and I'm going to be passed out. And we're not supposed to sleep up here and that sort of thing. So
yeah, but we did go back during the day, of course, after we got our 3-hour nap or whatever it was.
Yeah, we both got an hour and a half each.
Yeah, different times. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So we did a walkthrough this morning, and the only thing that we can report as possible evidence is the brushing of my arm.
Yeah, that's right.
And you heard a woman's voice.
I did hear a woman's voice.
And this was kind of before these awesome cars showed up,
car
these
show.
classic cars. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that was the first set of tourism that I saw.
Yeah,
Everybody else has been like picking up trash or going into their building or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was interesting that you heard a voice at that time, because I don't think it was outside noise.
Yeah.
It was like 7:15 in the morning.
Right.
You know, who's bumping into the city at that time expecting to see something?
Right. Well, I was running the recorder at the time. We both filmed it as we did the morning walkthrough, so hopefully we'll have something to add as far as evidence goes. But we found room 12. We were looking for it. All of the rooms have like an indication on them that they were once numbered, but is that my ride? Was I supposed to?
No, that was funny.
Slow down.
Really wanting to be a fan.
He's like,
He was trying to see if we had a T-shirt on or something that he could read.
Right. We went around like looking for room 12 because there's supposed to be some like bad energy in that room. Not like we were like, where is it? Where's that bad energy? We just want to at least hit all of the hot spots.
Yeah.
It was late, and our lighting on our cameras were probably like whitewashing any of the...
Because most of them don't have actual numbers on them.
Right.
They've been taken off. But yeah, go ahead.
So this one, I could faintly see 12. Like maybe it had stickers on it at one point in time. And so like, you know, the dirt over the years was still there, but the numbers were missing. So I had Wendy come over. I'm like, look at this. I think this might be 12. And she's like, yeah, look, someone actually handwrote the 12 right above it. I'm like, oh, I didn't even see it. I still missed that. So we finally found room 12. It's a little hidden. It's right by this creepy hallway that I was getting bugged out by just because it's like a claustrophobia situation.
That's my ride.
That's your ride?
I'm going to ride on that little back
there. You have to
there.
throw her off first. Bar fight. So yeah, we found that. We got to sit around in that room for a little bit. But again, I didn't feel anything bad.
No, we should check each other for scratches, because apparently you might not feel them. Take your shirt off right now.
You can be like monkeys.
We don't have enough people looking at us podcasting in the street.
We'll get some screams that way for sure.
Wow, we did not say that we were podcasting in the street, I think. Well, okay, maybe we did, but if we didn't, I just real quick, if you haven't caught on, we are in front of the Washoe Club because we thought that'd be a good backdrop for the video.
Not so much for the sound quality.
Not at all for the sound quality, but you're getting to hear what it's like at 8 o'clock in the morning in Virginia City.
This is it.
It's like the city that never sleeps or whatever.
Speaking of things that don't sleep.
So are we going to go take a nap in the truck?
Yeah, that's us. No, the wildlife around here.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, I think they get up early just like us and roam around, or like other people, and roam around the city.
I think you might have shocked the one that was roaming around this city.
He did not seem to care. But so we go and we're like hauling all our stuff out of there, and we're putting things into the truck, and I hear clank, 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 clank. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, somebody's taking a walk or whatever. That's weird. They got some busted shoes. They're like wearing tap shoes, taking their morning jog. And no, it's a deer, which we saw a deer yesterday.
Yeah.
A mom.
3 of them.
Yeah. It was mom and like maybe 2 babies. But like they're around people so much in this city, they did not care. So it just strolled right by. Yeah. And we're like, hey, deer, what's up?
What's up?
And it like turned around and looked at us.
The deer was watching us like, what's up? You do that overnight thing last night? Over
catch anything?
At the Washoe? Yeah. What'd you get? Would you get any ghost evidence? And Wendy's like, you want some carrots? Come here, dear. Would you like? He's like, no, I want to know about the ghosts.
Yeah.
I'm local.
I eat trash, not carrots. I don't know what deer.
They were eating apples off of that tree down the street.
Oh, yes, they were. The mom was trying to eat it out of her own baby's mouth.
Yeah, she's like,
you've had enough.
That's too much sugar for you. Give it to me.
And then Chris is like, there's a horse. Now it's way up on this fucking hill.
Yeah.
But I decided I'm going to bolt up there and try to get a picture of it. And as I get closer and closer, I think that horse got just done with some business. I guess it could be taken. So there was another horse involved in this business. Is what I'm getting at.
There was 2 horses.
I got a video. You guys can watch it. It'll be obvious to everyone, I'm
Virginia
sure.
City Wildlife.
But yeah, he's like real cool with me until I got to the top. And then he was kind of staring at me like, I'm sorry. How close are you going to come?
Right.
And I was like, don't worry, I'm not.
We're
good.
This is
as far as I'm coming. So yeah, most activity we saw was deer and horses, maybe a light touch on the arm.
A light flickered, could have been a shadow person.
Hopefully that's on camera. There might be a little bit more on some other things, like when we're video recording, we don't play that back.
No, that's true. And there's a lot of times too, when I'm running the camera, that I'm not really looking at what is actually being filmed because I'm looking in this direction, but I've got the camera in this direction. So.
Should I take pictures and don't look at them sometimes?
Yeah, that's true.
Because you got so many lights in your eyeballs.
Yeah.
We're like a one-man band.
Yes, exactly.
There's 2 of us, but apparently we expect to have all like
totally
this
like
equipment.
Mary Poppins, where he's got like the drums and the cymbals and everything. Yeah, that's us.
That's us. Well, you'll see videos of that on YouTube, and we already kind of closed up the show, so we won't repeat all that information.
You got
we
it.
Just again wanted to add, what our night was like, so you guys know what it's like at the Washoe Club.
Yeah, and you know what the morning's like too.
Yeah. So wish us luck that we don't pass out somewhere in the streets here from exhaustion, and the deer come lick our faces. Like a little nibble,
Right.
But anyways, that's it, guys.
That's it. We're alive. Johnny 5.
Bye.
Bye.